Welcome to another episode of 10 Questions for Change. And today I have Sandy from Andy's Man's Club.
Hiya.
Hi there. And today we're going to be exploring what gets in the way of men asking for support and what would make it easier. So, Sandy, thank you so much for
You're very
joining us
welcome.
today.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us a little bit about what Andy's Man's Club is
So,
and how it originated.
Andy's Man Club is a talking group for any man over the age of 18 wanting to talk to other like-minded men. We were set up on the back of a suicide by a young man called Andrew Roberts, who sadly took his own life in 2016 at the age of 23. So his mum and his brother-in-law came together and came up with Andy's Man Club. So his brother-in-law, Luke Ambler, he went to his mother-in-law at a family wedding and says, I want to start up a talking group for men. I want to call it Andrew Roberts Coffee Club. And no many people will know that. She loved the idea, but know the name. She was like, I like that, but no sure about the name. So they went away and they came back and then they came up with Andy's Man Club. So the first session was actually held on the 4th of July 2016 in Halifax. 9 men attended that day, and that's how Andy's Man Club was born. Andrew's mum was actually there the very first session as well. She went and bought teas and coffees, and she basically says, see if nobody shows up, I'm sure I can sit with you for an hour. Sure enough, 9 men walked through the door. Now we're almost 10 years old, and we've got 350 clubs UK wide. We also do online sessions as well for guys that maybe can't get to an Andy's Man Club. Maybe it's just too far away. Maybe they're disabled. So we do online sessions as well. And what happens in a club on a Monday night is the exact same what happens in an online session as well. So the questions are the exact same. The way we run it's the exact same. The only difference is you're sitting in the comfort of your own home. You have to make your own tea and coffee. You need to eat your own biscuits. Me personally, I always prefer when somebody makes me a coffee.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
So that's how Andy's Man Club was all started. So it started off with 9 men in Halifax. Now we're sitting at 6,700 men walking through the doors every Monday night. Sometimes it's more than that.
Yeah.
That's just a rough idea. And we're normally sitting at about 4,500 men that are brand new every single Monday night walking through the doors.
Yeah.
So we run every Monday night 7 till 9, except the bank holidays. So because we're an English-based charity, we run English bank holidays. So if it's an English bank holiday, all clubs are closed. What the lads might do in that club is say, we're going to arrange a walk and talk. But it's only for the lads in that club. So they'll say, right, we're going to start here and we're going to walk to here and we can get a chat and get a coffee and so on and so forth. They might say, right, we're going to just meet up at Starbucks, go for a coffee, have a chat. Some guys say, right, there's this pub's having a quiz. We'll just meet up and go for a quiz night. So guys are still getting that chance to open up and talk, even if it's not an official meeting night.
Yeah.
So instead of having to bottle all that stuff up for another week, they've still got that place. I ken Sandy's gone, I ken James's gone. I can open up to them and let some of that stuff out.
Why do you think men find it so difficult to address their mental health and then talk about it? This
So-
had to become a thing.
I think we had done the longest conversation that's on YouTube. It's called Longest Conversation. So it's 12 men a day take their own life in the UK, and it's one man every 2 hours or one man every 90 minutes. So when we done the longest conversation in London, Luke actually says a wee bit about this. Is if you go back to the First World War, men just had to go and fight for their country. There was no, I want to look after my wife and kids. No, you had to go and fight for your country. And that stigma's just been passed down from generation to generation. So I still personally think it's just that when I was growing up, it was, oh, you're a big boy, what you crying for? It's always that. And that's what we're saying to kids. So when we're growing up as adults, we're thinking, oh, well, that's the way we have to act, because that's what I was taught when I was younger. I'm not allowed to cry. I have to just man up.
Yeah.
And that stigma's just getting passed on to generation.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. The way we look at men is we have to be big, strong, tough guys. We have to be the breadwinners. It's not like that anymore. It isn't. Men and women are both going out to work to support their family. But within the society, everybody still thinks, oh, you have to man up. You can't talk about your mental health. Because if I start talking to one of my friends about my mental health, oh, shut up. You're a boy, get on with it. It shouldn't be like that, So it's just trying to break that stigma, bring down these barriers. So every man knows that, I can speak to my pal about my mental health. I'll speak to my 2 boys about what's happening at school. So they know they can start to open up to me or their mum or somebody.
Yeah.
Might not be me. even if it's their mum or their grands or their aunties, as long as they're talking to somebody.
Okay, so what at what point do you see men being able to actually reach out?
So for me, it was my ex-partner that pushed me to go and do a walk and talk with Andy's Man Club. So I had personally tried to take my own life. I've been through a lot of stuff when I was younger, between my mum and my real dad, a lot of fighting, arguing, and things like that. Stuff that I should never ever have seen. And yet again, because of that stigma, built it all up. Never spoke to my partner, never spoke to anybody. Then eventually, the day of my birthday, 11th of February 2023, I tried to take my own life. And it was a Sunday after that, Andy's Man Club had a walk and talk in Polkemmet Country Park in Whitburn. And my partner actually says to me, she was like, there's this Andy's Man Hang walk and talk. You need to go to that because you need to talk to somebody because you didn't talk to me. I'm like, all right, I'm not talking to a bunch of guys, kid. So that's still that stigma, eh? So I'm not talking to a bunch of guys because I'm a man. I just wear my heart on my sleeve and run through every brick wall. So I walked up to the walk and talk. My plan was not to do it. It was just to walk past the guys, put an empty can of juice in the bin, walk back past them, walk to the park, say to my partner, like, that's it's not for me. So I've walked up. One of the guys that first walked up to me is a guy called Aaron Edwards. Says to me, "You here for Andy's Man Club walk and talk?" Well, first thing I done was, aye, again, just scared. So I done the walk and talk, then I walked through the doors on the Monday night. I think the biggest thing for guys is feeling safe to open up. Knowing there is a place you can go and open up and talk about your mental health, and no being judged. That's a big part of Andy's Man Club, We're a non-judgmental organisation. Not only race, religion, sexual preferences. It's just a safe space. You can go in and have the conversations about, oh, well, this happened, or this has happened, and that's happened, and I'm not feeling the best, boys. And knowing guys will, look, mate, I've maybe been through that, or I've been through something similar, and this is who I cope. On a Monday night, I'm coming to Andy's Man Club. On a Tuesday, I'm going to the gym. On a Wednesday, I go to a walk with 3 of the guys. And then on a Friday, we go for a couple of coffees or whatever it is. And that's where the peer-to-peer kicks in with Andy's Man Club, when guys start talking to each other. Yeah. And it's absolutely amazing to see. What I always say is, I would never ever walk into a pub and say, me and you've got to be best friends. Because it just doesn't work that way, does it? At an Andy's Man Club, at the break, after guys have had that, they've maybe got whatever they need to get off their chest, they'll have a wee break. Guys will start talking to each other, and you start to see the wee friendships start to build. And then, all right, well, I can't speak to my family about my mental health because the stigma, but I can speak to him.
Yep.
And I think until we can break that stigma completely, men will always find it hard to talk, especially in the older generations as well, because it's always been, oh no, we have to be the breadwinners. No, not really. It's men and women are all working, or try to do the exact same thing, make sure their family's got the best of what they can possibly have,
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It's hard. And seeing, like, getting that sense of community, and if you're in a group of people, you'll notice the way somebody speaks, or you'll pick on somebody's energy and think, oh, I feel like I gel with that person and I want to make friends with them, rather than you lot are all going to be pals. So get on with it.
No, 100%, yeah. So yet again, any man that walks through that door for the first night, their emotions are everywhere. Like, I'm not talking, I'm just got to sit here and I'm saying nothing. But when you start to hear other guys open up, you're like, oh, I know what he's going through. I know what he's got. I'm going through that right now. So you start to relate to people, And then through just relating to them, you start to talk to them. Look, how are you coping with that? Because I'm struggling with that. Oh, well, look, this is what I'm doing. And that's where the friendships start to slowly but surely start to get built. I always say Andy's Man Club, every club that we've got, it's like a brotherhood.
How much do you think that the way we now work influences this? Because back in the day, I'm thinking like my parents' generation, my grandparents' generation, lots of work was men shoulder to shoulder working together in communities, whereas now we're lots of work is in offices, just get on with your job, head down, do the work, or you're in a call centre or something like that. How much do you think that's impacted?
I think that's impacting a lot as well, because even though you're getting that face to face with people, if you're in an office, you're maybe just in a cubicle. So even though you're in an office full of hundreds of people, you're not getting a chance to speak to anybody. So you're stuck in your own wee box, if that makes sense. And then yet again, if maybe you're not the best of mental health, so being stuck in that wee box, then you're getting stuck in your own head, and you're constantly just overthinking everything. And that's never ever good for anybody. Just being stuck in that box.
Yeah, that being able to shoulder to shoulder and have more shared experiences.
Yeah,
And I can only imagine that through COVID, when everybody then had to work at home, that's going to make it even
yeah,
worse because you're not even getting that break where you might meet somebody
yeah.
over lunch or at the
That's it.
coffee station
It's
or some.
you might get a chance to speak to somebody on Zoom or Google Chat or whatever, but it's not the same as face to face. Face to face, you can sit and have a conversation. You can see what my hands are doing. I can see what your hands are doing.
Yeah.
You can tell if you ask somebody a question, you can see their body language.
Mm-hmm.
Where on a screen, you can't see somebody's body language. So I could tell you something over a screen. You're like, you might be absolutely loving it. You're like, wow, that's a brilliant idea. But I'm like, oh, maybe she doesn't like that idea. Sorry, Kim, I'll change the idea. But if you're face to face, you're like, oh, it's a brilliant idea. Right, let's go for it. That's what affects things as well, eh?
Yeah, there's so much, and there's so much about how we interact with each other. It's not about the words that we say; it's the energy we're picking up off each other, as well as the body language we experience so much of that, and that can be lost. It can be really useful on a screen if, like you said before, somebody can't get to.
If you physically can't get to a club, but if you can, then it's always best to speak to guys, face to face. So we've got a ball that we pass about. We call it the talking ball. So when you've got the ball, it's your chance to speak or not to speak. And I've seen guys, instead they want to look at guys eye to eye, because they've maybe got to speak about this childhood trauma, or me and my wife's fell it, or whatever it might be, they'll just play about with the boy. Maybe pick at the ball, bounce the ball, do whatever they need to do, because it's just like a big sponge boy. Yeah. So that's their chance to get everything out and use that ball as like a stress ball. And as every other guy sitting there, you're seeing what he's putting across here. You're like, wow, that's some heavy stuff here. I'm like checking him at the break, make sure he's all right. Yeah. But if you're doing that on a screen, for me personally, you can't see how somebody's reacting to when they're opening up about something like that. So it might be something really, really traumatic. And on a screen, you can't see how much it's really affecting them. You can maybe see it in their face, but their body language, because it could be like really, really slumped down, or on a screen, you can't see that. But on a face-to-face meeting, you can see like, just, this has happened, and you can actually feel how they're feeling as well, if that makes sense.
And sometimes people just need a hug.
Yeah, 100%.
And does Andy's Man's Club encourage hugs if people are open to it?
So, all the guys I've started with, I always give them a hug every time I see them. Once guys get to know each other, some guys are like, I'm just happy with a handshake. So we always give guys a handshake as they're walking through the door. What's your name? Oh, my name's Sandy. Like, well, we'll get you in, get your tea and a coffee. Just handshake straight away. You're breaking that barrier, don't you?
They've been seen, they've been recognised, they've been welcomed.
And they know that, oh, there is somebody that wants to listen to me. It's not like, oh, it's a bunch of guys, or if I say the X, Y, or Z, then they're just going to judge me and, man up, and that's not what we're all about,
Yeah.
We're just a safe space for guys to come and talk.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen to help break that stigma, to encourage more men in the door?
It's hard, so we always say our biggest supporters are women. The amount of women, so it was my ex-partner that pushed me to walk through the doors in Andy's Man Club, so the amount of women that are constantly pushing men through the door, it's just trying to get us to now realise that with our kids, if we've got a son and a daughter and they both fall at the same time, make sure both of them are all right. Instead of just saying, oh, it's just a wee scrape, oh, you'll be fine, to your son, but your daughter's maybe got the exact same, all right, well, we need to take you up to A&E. We need to break that stigma there, So then when they're growing up, they're like, well, Ken, what? I've hurt myself, my sister's hurt herself, but we've got to get the same attention. It's not all the attention that's gone onto one person, That's what I'd like to see. So when I go and do the presentations for Andy's Man Club, that's what I always say. Always say that, I used to always say my wife was sometimes the biggest pain in my backside. Women, just in general, were always the biggest pain in my backside. But now what I say to you guys is, you just might agree with me there, but what I'll say to you is, we're their biggest pain in the backside as well. We're not opening up and talking. We've maybe had a really, really stressful day at work. We come in for work, and your partner might say, oh, can you take the bin out? The first thing you've got to start that argument. Oh, I'm just in for work. Why not just say, look, go and give me 10 minutes. I've had a really, really stressful day at work. I just need to decompress. Instead of starting that argument straight away, just give me 10 minutes and I'll do what you need me to do. I just need to go and sit down and decompress for 10 minutes. Because what's happened at work's through me, or whatever it is, Yet again, if we can get that out there as well, then we're going to stop these wee silly arguments, eh? And that's going to just benefit everybody. But that's just my personal opinion on that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I had a conversation like 2 weeks ago with 3 different women, and 2 of them, it was their children were talking about suicide, and 1 of them, it was their partner. And you just think, how do you get that to a group like yours? Like, how do you go from there?
So yet again, just giving that person information, eh? Look, there is a thing called Andy's Man Club. They're all based all over the UK. Go along, have a chat. I always say to any guy that walks through the door on the first night, don't judge it in your first night, because your emotions are going to be everywhere. You're going to be thinking, I'm going to talk to a bunch of guys. The first night I walked through the door, I thought the exact same. That's why I'm not talking. I'm a man. Until you start hearing other guys open up, eh? So I always say to guys, get 3, 4, 5 weeks. Don't judge it on your first night, because you judge it on your first night, I'm not coming back, that's a load of rubbish. Get that wee bit of time. Then see if it's not for you, that's absolutely fine. But then you've at least said, well, I went for 5 weeks and I didn't think it was for me. But I know the doors are always open. That if I get to that point again, I know I can go along to Andy's Man Club and open up and talk, eh? So that's what I would say to that.
Yeah. And you'll see positive stories come out of the group. You've got new friendship groups forming, you've got new communities forming. What other positive aspects of it are you seeing for men?
For guys being at the absolute lowest, like myself, when I first walked through the door, I was at rock bottom after trying to take my own life. Now I get to say I work for this amazing charity, try to help that next man walk through the door. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. And you start to see this with guys, eh? So if I open up a club just where we're sitting just now, and I have 5 guys walk through the door at absolute rock bottom, or want to take their own lives, or die by suicide. Then I come back in 10, 12, 14, whatever it is, and I see the guys going for rock bottom, just pushing up that wee bit. That's what gives me the fuel, that's what gives me the fire to get out there and open that next set of doors, to let everybody know about Andy's Man Club and the work we're doing, eh? That's the biggest thing I get for Andy's Man Club, eh? Personally, just seeing guys grow for being at rock bottom. And then when they get themselves into a better place, seeing the other facilitators asking them, would you like to become a facilitator? We think you'd be great. And then them then giving back to the charity. And then the guys that are maybe there might say, right, I can now step back, because this guy's now got to take my role. And it just keeps going like that, eh? So there's constantly new people coming in, getting themselves into a better place, becoming facilitators, doing that role to help that next man, and then the cycle just keeps going, eh?
It's at grassroots level, because
100%,
we can't rely on this coming top down.
No, 100%, you can't.
Because all they're doing is taking funding out of mental health support, so it's having to come from charitable organisations, grassroots, men supporting men. Yeah,
just as I say, just peer to peer.
Yeah, it's amazing work.
Thank you very much.
Doing amazing work. Is there anything else that you want to chat about today? That any other key message that you want to get across? Just
that if everybody can actually open up and talk about their mental health, that's the biggest thing, eh? Just, it doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, or what gender you decide you want to be. Just talk to people. There is somebody out there that is willing to listen, eh? And if we can talk, then we can bring the suicide rate down, eh? Because suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 54.
Yeah.
There's 4,900 men take their own life every year, eh? 2 of the guys are in Scotland every single day. It's a shocking statistic.
It's heartbreaking.
So if we can get just people, you go out and talk, doesn't matter if you're talking to your mum, your gran, or just somebody random, eh? Just
and sometimes a stranger's easier to talk to, because they've not got a preconceived idea
100%.
About you. And also, I'm just thinking about, I remember somebody telling me about a conversation their friend had come and said that they were really struggling and they didn't know how to respond, so they just changed the subject. So if you are somebody who's really struggling and you get that it's not that they don't want to help you, it's they don't know how to help you, so just try somebody else. Just
listen. That's the best thing anybody can do. If somebody comes up and speaks to you, just listen to them. Best thing anybody can do is just listen to somebody that's saying, this is the way I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way, whatever it is. Just listen. They're maybe no asking you to help them directly, but see, just listening, letting them open up about that thing, it's the best thing you can do. You might just be a turn at case, turn and say, look, right, so you says you're not feeling the best. You're maybe drinking way too much. See, just repeating what they're sort of saying to you as well, back to them. Then they're saying, well, they're actually listening to what I'm saying here, eh? then they know, well, I've got a bit of comfort here because this person's actually listening to me. They're not just saying, oh, aye, whatever, and
And they're
just
not judging them
100%,
as
yeah,
well, or not reprimanding them, or
yeah,
even trying to fix them, because I'm a chronic fixer. So if somebody comes to me with a problem or it's something I'm having to learn, is don't jump into fixer mode straight away,
yeah.
because it's not good for my nervous system.
No, definitely
But
not.
it's like, right, okay, just listen first and then ask them,
Ask questions.
what, like, do you need, like, how can I help you?
Mhm.
Can I point you in the direction of
Yeah.
Andy's Man's Club or the Main
Yeah,
Shed
100%.
or one of these
Whatever
other
it is, yeah.
type of groups, depending
So
on what they're looking for?
at Andy's Man Club, as I say, Monday night 7 till 9. We ask 5 questions every Monday. So question 1, how's your week been? Real easy. Good, bad, absolutely garbage. Question 2, just one positive of your week. My positive's the sunset. Or spent time with my kids, or I'm just back from the holidays, boys, look how much of a tan I've got, or whatever it might be. Some guys might not have a positive, eh? And if I'm in that group, I always make sure it's my job to find that man a positive. Well, look, you've walked through the door for the very first time. That's the hardest thing any man can do. Eh? You're the bravest man in the room. You've walked through that door for the first time. We've all been in that situation. Or, mate, you've been cutting for 6 months. Look, you've been after drink for 8 months. You're doing absolutely amazing. Just wee small things that are build that person up, eh? And then question 3 is the meat and bones in Andy's Man Club always says, anything to get off your chest. So this can be anything from childhood trauma to you and your wife breaking up, whatever. Or it could be something positive. It could be, well, boys, say I was saying for the last 6 months my car broke down, I went and got a brand new one, waiting you see it at the break again. It can be something positive. Then after that, we go for a wee 10-15 minute break, eh? Because after question 3, some guys can share a lot and it can be really, really heavy. So sometimes you need that wee break, eh? Just, right, we'll calm down, just let everything sort of flow, if that makes sense. Go and get another tea or get a coffee. And that's where the peer-to-peer kicks in, because guys will then start talking to each other. Then we come back for question 4 and question 5. So question 4 is the question then of why. So one of the questions that we had not that long ago is, what does good mental health look like to you? Personally. So everybody says, well, I don't know. Good question to ask, eh? And question 5, and I personally think it's one of our best questions, is how do you eat a 2-finger Kit Kat biscuit? Now, we've got a bit of a laugh there, right? So these last 2 questions, they change every single week, eh? So they're designed to build you back up. So after question 3, you've got some heavy stuff out, they build you back up. So when you're walking out the door, you feel a wee bit better about yourself. I've let all of this stuff out, and you've let that stuff out, and so on and so forth. Everybody's got that chance to let out. And then obviously with question 5, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's no funny. But if I've just went and spoke to everybody in the room and said about all this childhood trauma that I've been through, last thing I want is anybody to be going out, so I can't believe Sandy's went through all that, this and that, and the next thing. At least that way they're thinking, he eats a 2-finger Kit Kat biscuit that way, he's a weirdo, eh? He's not coming to my house for a Kit Kat. But then they're not going out thinking about my childhood trauma.
Yeah.
I'm not going out thinking about what they've went through. I'm thinking about that last question, eh?
Yeah.
So it changes your mindset straight away.
The energy.
So then you're not having to like, oh, no, I need to phone him tomorrow. Because you're too bit, I'm not phoning him. He's Kit Kat's that way. He's not coming to my house for a coffee. Again. And it does, as I say, it doesn't matter what club you're at, because it's the exact same questions that are going asked at every club.
Okay.
So if you're at a club in Glasgow, and then you maybe go to London the next again week, when you come back to your club in Glasgow, what's that Kit Kat question like last week? What did you say? You can still have that conversation about things, eh?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing as well, eh?
Yeah. So what does good mental health look like to you?
To me, being open and honest. Just being open and honest and being truthfully, not putting that mask on. Yeah. And just being open and honest. And instead of trying to bottle everything up, just letting it out there, eh? Yeah. Just being truthful to everybody. If I'm having a bad day, like, I'm having a stinker of the day, then I try and put the mask on and hide behind it, eh? Yeah. Because it's not going to help anybody.
Okay. And then just finally, how do you eat a 2-finger Kit Kat?
So me personally, I snap it, one finger. I've heard people saying what they have to do is, no, you have to snap it, eat the chocolate off both sides, then off up the top and then off the bottom.
Yes.
So then you're left with the wafer. Is that the way you eat it?
Yes.
Then I have also heard people saying that is the wrong way to eat it. What you have to do is you need to eat the top, a chunk off the top bit, a chunk off the bottom bit, put it in your tea and your coffee and use it as a straw. Okay. When I heard that, I was like, no, you're not getting any of my Kit Kats. But that's just me. I just think that's a wee bit, But everybody's to their own.
Yes, indeed. Sandy, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Very much appreciated.